Hello, my name is Rich and welcome to my world. Have you ever thought about espaliering fruit trees? Now the word espalier is French. It comes from an Italian word and it means to lay your head on a shoulder, something like that, which makes no sense to me. However, in 1346-47, the Dark Plague broke out in Europe, and it lasted 5 years. And by 1353, somewhere between 25 and 30 million people died. The workforce was just wiped out. So they came up with a lot of different ideas. One idea was taking fruit trees and espaliering them, which is a nice term for heavily pruning them into shapes so you could reach the apples and pears without a ladder. And you didn't need as large of a workforce. So I'm going to show you how to trim and maintain espaliered fruit trees today. This is a gardening tote. I bought it 3 years ago. I love it. It has, in case you're going to do liquids, it has measuring on the inside which you can't see. And it's just sturdier than heck. Throw it down and start clipping. Executors, pruning shears, they call them executors. And these I got off of one of those television shows. I love these things. So basically what you want to do is you want to cut to 2-3 inches from the lateral. And that's what you're going for, laterals. So I'll start in the middle here. And this is basically something you have to do 3 times a year on these fruit trees if you want them to look nice. Some people do it more, some people only do it once a year. And so you're keeping all the buds close to the laterals. So this is what you're going to get. Now this tree is only 3 years old. So I'll show you one that is older. And as they get older, the trunks get bigger and the laterals get bigger and they get more substantial looking. But if you have, now I have quite a few of these trees. And you've got quite a bit of pruning to do. Now, if you think you want to do espaliered fruit trees, you can go to the farm stores or the box stores in the spring when they have the bare root. And I look for ones that may even have branches coming out. If not, don't worry about it. Plant it. And basically you cut everything off except where you want the branches. Now in France, they do hedges in these, which is incredible to see. And what they'll do is they'll plant them maybe 3 feet apart, and then they'll tie the branches together. And they'll do long hedges, they'll do areas of interest, like a maze that you walk through. And they have people that constantly keep them pruned and then pick the fruit in the fall. Now, what I do, once I get them to a certain place, which just still isn't what I want, I spray them early spring, actually late winter, with dormant oil spray, March. Then I never spray them when they have flowers on them. I have beehives and I want the bees to be happy and I don't want to kill them. So I wait until all the flowers are off, and then every 10 days I spray them with a fruit spray, an orchard spray. And then have fun pruning. I enjoy the pruning. If you don't like pruning, it probably isn't for you. Now I'll take you and show you one that is 9 years old, and you can see the difference. You also can prune them in all kinds of incredible shapes. baskets, cylindrical. You can train them in candelabras where you take the ends and you twist them up, and this one comes out, the next one's in, until you have almost what looks like a candelabra. Now some people put in big stakes and they put wires. I don't like that look. Eventually I'll take these out when it gets more mature and it'll stand by itself. This is my first apple tree. It's 9 years old. You can see it's getting pretty large. It needs to be trimmed. You can see apples on it. They're hidden in the leaves. There's some down there. Now, I've been a little under the weather and I haven't been able to get in the garden for 3 weeks. So I had missed my spraying and I have caterpillar damage over here. They ate all the leaves. It's not going to hurt the tree at all. It just looks unsightly. But this is what you're aiming for with your Espalier. You want to, now when this is pruned, it'll be beautiful. But you want a big solid tree. Now I'm getting to the point where the stakes can come out and it can be freestanding. Now Espalier and topiaries are not to be confused. They're two separate things. Topiaries are usually done in yew bushes, boxwoods, things like that, where Espalier is almost always apple or pear, sometimes apricot, but usually apple and pear. Now, you remember I said they did this because they didn't want to get on ladders? Well, guess what? I made this a little too high. I'll have to pull the ladder out and get up there to do this. So, what can I say? And when you start, you're clipping these back 2 inches. But as time moves on, it gets out. You don't want to be taking your spurs off. That's where your fruit comes from. So there's a difference between cutting this back and going in and cutting the spurs out. Now in the spring, this will be just full of flowers. The bees will be all over it. It's a very beautiful thing. So I always make sure in January, President's Day, I come out and trim all my fruit trees. Come high water or low water, I'm out here with my winter outfit on. And it takes 2 days, or sometimes 3 days, to make sure everything's ready for the spring. Well, if you have a ladder like this, I'd recommend doing what I'm going to do to it after this show, and I'm going to probably throw it away. I have a beautiful ladder that the electrician who was wiring my greenhouse borrowed, and I can't find it. So I found this old thing. I must be out of my mind, but I'm going to climb it. Now, one of the reasons I like Espalier is I do enjoy pruning it. I also enjoy the look. I think it adds a dimension to the garden. Any kind of focal point always helps your garden. So you have to enjoy it or don't do it. Well, there's more to do here, but you get the idea. This is what we're shooting for. I think it's a great look. And believe it or not, there's quite a few apples in here, and I'll be picking them today because I think they're about ready. So, until we meet again, it's been great fun. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. So, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button and have a blessed day.